The situation for Fani Willis keeps getting worse and worse. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to UnwokeThoughts. Today, we are talking about a recording that has been leaked featuring a former employee of Fani Willis blowing the whistle on alleged misuse of federal grant funds by one of her aides. And then, 2 months later, Willis, instead of firing the aide who was misusing the funds, Fani Willis instead fired the whistleblower. Yes, that's correct. First, Fani Willis gets caught with her hand in the cookie jar, hiring her lover, Nathan Wade, to be the special prosecutor against Donald Trump, paying him hundreds of thousands of dollars. And now, Fani Willis is in hot water because apparently there is some corruption going on in her office and she doesn't really care about it. Surprise, surprise, right? But let's listen to this audio, guys, and listen to it very carefully because this is some crazy stuff. Listen to this.
If you had to give me a sentence, what is the sentence theme?
Once I told him about his, respectfully and in an email, about his lack of leadership and the fact that he wanted to do things with grants that were impossible. And I kept telling him, like, we can't do that, and questioning stuff. He would take me off projects, tell people I wasn't doing what I was supposed to because I questioned him. Because I understood, I helped write that grant. I knew what was in that grant. He told everybody in front of Crystal, Deontay, everybody, we're going to get MacBooks, we're going to do that, we're going to get swag, we're going to use it for travel. I said, you cannot do that. It's a very, very specific grant. Took me off. I questioned Junior DA. There's kids in there from out of the county, all this. Took me off Junior DA. I did not want to do it. He made it look as if I wasn't doing what I needed to do because I questioned him. Because I knew for a fact, Mr. Cuffey respectfully did not know what he was doing, period.
So I respect that is your assessment. It was clear to me that you and Mr. Cuffey were not getting along. And I'm not saying that your assessment is wrong. I want you to really listen to the words I'm saying.
Cuffey, and this is my personal opinion, to one woman to another, is dangerous to your administration. He tells people, when I reached out to you, he told me, you think your word is safe? Exactly when you reached out to Miss Willis, she called me and told me, she tell me everything. So once you reach out to her, she's going to reach back out to me. So I didn't even go to HR because he put Dexter's name on my PDP and I didn't even feel safe going to anybody.
Can I tell you something?
Mm-hmm.
I have 3 supervisors that have failed in this building. What's interesting to me, because I'm in a learning curve too, they each pretend to have a relationship with me that they do not have. Mm-hmm. I guess that's an intimidation tactic. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry that you felt that way, but you, Dexter certainly don't have no relationship with Michael Cuffey. You were safe to go those places.
So a couple takeaways from this audio. It seems like the aide is talking about a individual named Michael Cuffey who might be misusing grant funds for other purposes other than the purpose that they are supposed to be used for. And she brings this situation to Fani Willis, who does not deny this. She even says in her own words, your assessment might be correct. But let's dig a little deeper here and see kind of what's going on. Who are the different individuals involved? Now, this audio was first released by the Washington Free Beacon, and they said Fani Willis axed employee who blew whistle on misuse of federal funds. Surprise, surprise. Fani Willis is misusing federal funds. I never would have guessed. Embattled Georgia DA has a pattern of ethical violations, abuse of power, and misusing funds, whistleblower says. Fani Willis may have fired the employees who warned her about mishandling federal funds, but she did not deny her allegations. Less than a year into her tenure as Fulton County District Attorney in 2021, Willis met with Amanda Timpson. So Amanda is the one in the audio that you hear talking. An employee in the district attorney's office responsible for giving nonviolent juvenile offenders alternatives to the juvenile court system. During their conversation, a recording of which was reviewed by the Washington Free Beacon, Timpson claimed to Willis that she had been demoted after attempting to stop a top Willis campaign aide from misusing federal grant money meant for Youth Gang Prevention Initiative. According to Timpson, the aide, Michael Cuffey, planned to use part of a $488,000 federal grant earmarked for the creation of a Center of Youth Empowerment and Gang Prevention to pay for, quote, swag, computers, and travel. Wow, how incredible. Something that is meant for the community, for the youth, that's supposed to keep them busy and out of gangs. they want to use for swag, computers, and travel. That's just incredible, isn't it? He wanted to do things with grants that were impossible. Now, this is a quote from the audio. And I kept telling him, like, we can't do that, Timpson told Willis in a November 19, 2021 meeting. Quote, he told everybody, we're going to get MacBooks, we're going to get swag, and we're going to use it for travel. I said, you cannot do that. It's a very, very specific grant. Quote, I respect your assessment, Willis responded, and I'm not saying that your assessment is wrong. So this is Willis's response to these allegations. She says, I respect your assessment, and I'm not saying that your assessment is wrong. So she's not even denying it. It's almost like she knew this kind of stuff was going on. And here we have the benefit of hindsight because we already know that this type of thing is something that Fani Willis would 100% overlook in her office and allow to happen. And the reason why is because before this audio came out, we already knew that Fani Willis had hired her lover, Nathan Wade, to be a special prosecutor on Donald Trump's RICO case, despite the fact that he had no experience prosecuting RICO cases, and she still paid him hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, if that's not a misuse of funds, I don't know what is. But later in the conversation, Willis apologized to Timpson and said Cuffey had failed her administration. Less than 2 months later, Willis abruptly terminated Timpson and had her escorted out of her office by 7 armed investigators, according to Timpson. When Timpson filed a whistleblower complaint the following year, the alleged wrongful termination, Willis's office issued a statement describing Timpson as a holdover from the prior administration who was terminated because of her, quote, failure to meet standards of the new administration. I wonder what those standards, I wonder what the failure to meet those standards, I wonder what they were. What are those standards? Overlooking misuse of funds? That's probably exactly what those standards were. But Timpson's experience sheds further light on how Willis, who campaigned on the promise of restoring integrity to the district attorney's office, does business. Well, that's laughable. Integrity. She campaigned on the promise of restoring integrity. That's rich. The Democrat has come under fire amid revelations that she tapped her lover, Nathan Wade, to handle the office's racketeering case against former President Donald Trump. Willis is also alleged to have misappropriated taxpayer funds to facilitate her affair with Wade, a married man with scant prosecutorial experience. To Timpson, these twin incidents demonstrate a pattern in Willis's conduct. Quote, my case and Nathan Wade's case are very similar when you break them down point by point, Timpson told the Free Beacon. Ethical violations, abuse of power, and the misuse of county, state, and federal funds. Timpson, who joined the Fulton County District Attorney's Office as Director of Gang Prevention and Intervention in 2018, was hopeful that Willis would take the office in a new direction. In December 2020, Willis named Timpson to her 2021 executive leadership team, a select group of employees tasked with playing a critical role of changing and rebranding the culture in the district attorney's office. Timpson first got the sense that something was awry shortly after Willis assigned Cuffey to serve as Timpson's direct manager. By March 2021, Timpson said Cuffey planned to use part of a $488,000 federal grant earmarked for the creation of a Center for Youth Empowerment and Gang Prevention to pay for swag, computers, and travel. Instead of heeding Timpson's warnings that his plan was illegal, Cuffey claimed the purchases were part of Willis's vision. And in June 2021, Cuffey removed Timpson from the gang prevention program. Timpson met with Willis on July 26, 2021 to discuss her concerns about the gang prevention grant in the junior DA program, but Willis wanted to hear nothing of it, Timpson said. Quote, I wanted to make sure she knew because I didn't want any scandal to be related to her. She immediately cut me off in the middle of my sentence and demoted me from the director of juvenile diversion to a file clerk. Now wary of Willis's approach, Timpson brought a recorder with her the second time she warned her boss about alleged financial malfeasance in the office. Quote, I knew it was me against the entire office, Timpson said. If I didn't get any hard evidence about what I was saying, everyone was just going to write me off. During their November 19, 2021 meeting, Timpson told Willis about Cuffey's stated plans to spend federal funds on computers and other ineligible purchases. Documents reviewed by the Free Beacon confirmed the grant in question was not meant to be spent on computers or other items. The Fulton County Center of Youth Empowerment and Gang Prevention never opened, and the county-owned building meant to house it is closed to the public, its gates padlocked. So, wonder where those funds went. They definitely did not go to the Fulton County Center of Youth Empowerment and Gang Prevention. Timpson followed up with Willis on December 7th of 2021, reiterating in an email concerns that federal funds were being misappropriated. She said, quote, "I have been humiliated and retaliated against for doing the right thing, trying to protect your administration from scandal and advocate for the youth I was charged with working on behalf of." Willis never responded to the email. She fired Timpson on January 14, 2022. As you know, you serve as an at-will employee with the Office of the Fulton County District Attorney. A signed letter from Willis to Timpson read, "Please accept this correspondence as notice that your services to this office are no longer needed." Timpson says Willis had her escorted out of this office by 7 armed investigators. "I'm 4'11" on my best days," Timpson told the Free Beacon. "Who is so scared of me that you have to walk me out of the building by 7 armed investigators? I've never had a warning about any negative behavior that would warrant someone feeling threatened by me." Timpson in August 2022 filed a whistleblower complaint in Fulton County Superior Court seeking damages for lost wages. The case is in discovery. So very interesting indeed. It looks like the whole Nathan Wade situation is not the only scandal, not the only misuse of funds, of taxpayer funds in Fani Willis's office. It looks like she had a history of doing this from way back before she ever prosecuted or tried to go after Donald Trump. Surprise, surprise. And I bet if we were to dig deeper, if we were to look a little bit closer at the Fulton County records, I bet we would find many, many more instances of malfeasance just like this. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think of Fani Willis using her office as her own personal bank account to enrich herself and those around her, using taxpayer money to simply, buy swag and computers and travel? Let me know what you think about this down below in the comments. Like and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. But until then, I will see you on the next one.